My friends, this is Dr. B, the best doctor in medicine. 30 plus years of clinical experience in medicine. Dr. B wants today to tell you what is the best way, the best of the best of the best way for you to know whether or not you have plaques, nasty plaques of cholesterol and calcium in your arteries, right? These plaques of cholesterol and calcium that accumulate inside the lumen of our arteries and slowly cause obstruction, right? We call them plaques of atherosclerosis. Plaques of atherosclerosis. You don't need to know this term. Just remember plaques in your arteries, right? Plaques in your arteries. Just like you remember dental plaque, right? This nasty gooey that accumulate at the base around the teeth, right? And that you need to go have the dentist remove. Same thing, but it's a different plaque, right? I'm not talking about the dental plaque. I'm talking about the plaque of cholesterol and calcium, this nasty gooey that accumulates inside the lumen of your arteries to slowly make your artery lumen narrower and narrower, and then blood cannot go through, and eventually complete occlusion, complete obstruction. Then you get heart attacks, strokes, and blah, 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 because the blood doesn't flow anymore, right? So if there is this gooey, imagine the gooey inside the pipes of your home, of your apartment. If you live in an old house, then there is a lot of chance that inside all the plumbing of your old house or your old apartment, there is this nasty gooey that has accumulated over the last many decades or years, right? It is the same thing for the human body. Inside our arteries, over time, slowly, tiny bit over time, starting when we are early young adults, like in our 18, 19, 20, early 20s. Some studies says even when we start to become a teenager. It's crazy. Tiny bit over time. This little gooey of cholesterol and calcium and some macrophages, some special cells accumulate in the lumen of our arteries. And over time, after a few decades, too many decades, by the time we reach 40, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, then they cause a heart attack or a stroke and blah, 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 and other diseases, right? I don't want to go into the details, but you get my point. This nasty gooey that accumulates over time, starting, according to some studies, even when we become a teenager or a very young adult at 17, 18, 19, 20, deposits inside the arteries at a faster rate if you have high blood pressure, diabetes, high cholesterol, and blah, blah, and you smoke and you drink alcohol and blah, blah, blah. But if you are a healthy adult and you always exercise regularly, you don't have diabetes, blah, 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 high cholesterol, high triglyceride, your blood pressure is normal, just like Dr. B, then the deposit of this nasty gooey over time will be extremely small amount and slow amount over time. So it will basically not be significant enough to cause you any problem. It's like having tiny little wrinkles here and there. Who gives a catso, right? What you don't want to have is a lot of wrinkle and a nasty face, right? So it's the same for your arteries. Studies have proven that even healthy people with a normal blood pressure, normal cholesterol, no diabetes, no smoking, no alcohol, just like Dr. B, who exercises 2 hours a day, also start to deposit plaques of cholesterol, but they're extremely tiny, microscopic, and they will get thicker and thicker and more gooey only slowly over time, after many, many decades, by that time I'll be dead, all right? By that time those plaques are significant, I'll be already dead, right? God willing, at the age of 100, healthy in my bed. So you get the point. But if you are overweight, right? If you are obese, remember the difference. Overweight means your body mass index, BMI, is at 25 or above. 25 or above. Once you reach 30 and above, 30 and above, you are obese. So if you are overweight, or you are obese, and or you smoke, and or you drink alcohol, and or you have hypertension, and or you have diabetes, and or your cholesterol is high, and or you are a couch potato, and or you eat constantly junk food, and or you have high triglyceride, blah 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 blah, there is an easy way to know how much plaques do you have in your arteries. What is your burden? What we call the burden of plaques. Do you have a lot of plaques in your arteries, or do you have, like Dr. B, tiny, insignificant amount of plaques, or do you have something in between? Do you know what I'm saying? We call that the burden of plaques. The burden of plaques of atherosclerosis. I remember these plaques of nasty gooey of cholesterol and calcium deposits in every arteries. The arteries of your heart, and then they give you a heart attack. The arteries of your brain, then they give you a stroke. The arteries of your kidney, then they give you kidney failures. The arteries of your legs, then they give you peripheral artery disease. The arteries of your penis, then you become impotent, means no more blood can go effectively into your penis to give you a hard-on like when you were young, right? Everywhere these freaking plaques deposit, right? And you have a way to know how much plaque do you have. Do you have a tiny bit, or a moderate amount, or a huge amount, right? We call that the burden of atherosclerotic plaque. The burden of atherosclerotic plaques. Just remember the burden of plaques, right, in your arteries. And that test that you can easily have, ask your family doctor to send you to a cardiovascular clinic where an expert like Dr. B will scan you and tell you your burden of plaque. That examination is called an carotid artery ultrasound. The two carotid arteries here, right? These are the two major arteries that take blood, rich in food and oxygen towards your brain. There are some smaller ones called the vertebral arteries here, but the two major ones, big arteries, right? They are the size of my index, right? They take blood, one on the right side, one on the left, huge amount of blood, full of oxygen, nutrients towards your brain, right? And because these two arteries are very superficial, you can feel them, right? Oh, here I have what I call the carotid pulse. I am feeling right now my carotid pulse. Feel? And this side, you can feel it, right? The carotid pulse. You put your finger here, right here, and you can feel this big artery pulsating, right? Pulsating like that. These carotid arteries just below the skin, just like that from the superficial layers. So they are very easily accessible with the ultrasound probe. Dr. B is an expert in cardiovascular medicine, cardiovascular imaging. I take the ultrasound probe, I put it on this carotid artery and on that carotid artery, and I can tell easily if the patient, what is the burden of atherosclerotic plaques of a given patient, right? All the scientific studies in medicine have proven that if on your carotid arteries you have a tiny bit of plaque, a tiny microscopic bit of plaque, just like Dr. B, tiny microscopic like that. Means everywhere else it's the same. All the studies have shown that if you have a lot of plaques in your carotid arteries everywhere, big, nasty gooey, like the gooey inside the pipes, water pipes of an old house, then it means everywhere else you have the same burden of nasty plaques of cholesterol and calcium. So with one simple ultrasound exam called carotid arteries, right? The carotid arteries, carotid ultrasound screening examination, you can know, and you need to know for God's sake, if you have if you have a lot of plaque and what is the burden of atherosclerotic plaques in the rest of your arteries. So by looking at these arteries, if they're clean, like Dr. B, I can tell you everything else in my body is clean. My brain is clean. My heart is clean. My liver, my kidneys, my penis, everything, right? All the arteries everywhere are nice and clean. And by the way, I take the ultrasound probe. I check my arteries everywhere, arteries of my heart. I check the arteries of my kidneys, arteries of my liver, arteries of my penis. Everything is nice and beautiful. Yeah, you can check all the arteries. But it's very simple and easy to check just the carotid arteries because they are easy to access. They are very close to the skin, right? It takes 5 minutes here, 5 minutes. In 10 minutes, you can be done. 10 minutes. The whole exam will take 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there, you're done. And then Dr. B can tell you, I'm not advertising for our clinic, right? But you get my point. Any cardiovascular clinic, right, wherever you live, right, can tell you what is your burden of atherosclerotic plaque, also called burden of atherosclerosis. So make sure, my friend, my brother, my sister, my compatriot, my mom, my dad, whoever the caso you are, my auntie, that if you are of a certain age, right, let's say starting 35, 40, 45, especially younger people who are obese, younger people who have diabetes, younger people who have risk factors, right? To ask your doctor to send you to a cardiovascular clinic where an expert like Dr. B, for example, will check you. If you are healthy, you never had any issues at all, you exercise, you zip your mouth, you watch your diet, your food, you don't smoke, you don't drink, then you can start doing that at the age of 50. But if you are obese, overweight, you have high blood pressure, diabetes, any of those, any freaking stuff you have, then you don't wait the age of 50, right? Because you can have a heart attack even at the age of 40, even at the age of 45. If you have high blood pressure, diabetes, high cholesterol, you're overweight, you're obese, you don't exercise, you're a couch potato, blah, blah, blah. A heart attack is not just for old people, right? People have heart attack at the age of 40, at the age of 45. It's crazy. Strokes, blah, blah, blah. So the more risk factors you have, smoking, alcohol, high cholesterol, blah, 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 couch potato, no exercise, junk food, blah, 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 then you have to start doing this carotid ultrasound screening exam at a younger age, right? Talk to your doctor, right? Talk to your doctor. And if you are a certain age, regardless of whether you have any risk factors, you need to have at least one carotid ultrasound at the beginning, and if it is normal, then in 3 years. Means if you are absolutely healthy, like Dr. B, I'm 50 years young, absolutely healthy, have a first carotid ultrasound screening to see how you're doing, how many plaques, how much plaques do you have. And then if absolutely normal and everything fine, then wait another 3 years or 4 years. You don't need to have it every year, right? But if you're a smoker, if you have diabetes, high blood pressure, obesity, blah, 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 any freaking risk factor, then you need to have it not only the first time immediately to know what is your status, but then on a more regular basis, let's say once every year, once every 2 years at least, talk to your doctor regarding that. If your doctor doesn't give a cat's about you, is not a caring doctor, rushes you in and out of the clinic, and you feel that your doctor is not taking care of you, that your whole healthcare team is not caring, it doesn't care about you, then you need to change your healthcare team. The same way I changed my dentist twice. Before, I found a great dentist that I hope I can keep until I'm 100 years old, right? But I had to switch dentists. I just changed dentists 3 times. The first one was a buffoon. The second one was a clown. They didn't care about me. They was rushing me. They were just not doing a good job. They were not explaining to me anything about my x-ray, about what I need, what the cuts are they doing. What is it that you think you need to do here? Nothing. So I just moved to a new dentist. This third one that I found is amazing. And I'm going to keep it for the rest of my life until I die peacefully, God willing, at the age of 100 in my bed. Right? So you can do the same thing with your doctor. If your family doctor, nurse practitioner, physician assistant, internist, whoever the catso it is that is following you, is not sending you for a specialist exam by your doctor like Dr. B to check your carotid arteries, then I don't understand what the catso you're doing with that doctor, right? Because if you are a certain age, especially if you are young and you are obese and blah, 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 and you have all these risk factors. I mean, you need to have at least one carotid artery screening so that you know what the catso is going on with your carotids. Do you have a lot of plaques or a little bit? Blah. Everybody's different, right? Everybody's different. Listen, I've seen people who are smokers, have diabetes, high blood pressure, of a certain age, absolutely normal carotids. Well, that's how it is, right? It's like people who are smoking and drinking alcohol, not all of them are going to develop lung cancer, liver cancer, and dementia, and blah, 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 right? Everybody responds differently to adversity, right? There's a lot of people who are going to go under the ultraviolet radiation of the sun for decades without any protection and will never develop skin cancer. So it's not a mandatory disease if you are overweight, blah, blah, blah. As I said again, I've seen a lot of people with a lot of risk factors who have barely any plaques, right? But it's like everything else. Driving 100 miles an hour on the highway or in the streets all the time doesn't mean you're going to have an accident, but it puts you at way higher risk. So it's the same. So you won't know it, what is your status, until you do the freaking ultrasound exam of your carotid artery, and that requires that your doctor cares about you, that the doctor is a caring doctor, and blah, 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 and it requires that you become your own advocate. You advocate for your own health. You become your own healthcare advocate, and do not do like the previous generation where people used to entrust their body, their mind 100% to the doctor who was considered to be like the God, right? No. Nowadays it's different because most doctors, not Dr. B, but most doctors, they are just into the medicine because it's a business with which they can make millions of dollars, right? That's why they go into medical school. Most young kids who go into medical school, it's, oh, I want to become very rich. I want to have a huge lifestyle with a Ferrari, Lamborghini, a villa, in Florida, a 5-bedroom, 4-bathroom mansion in Santa Clara, California, and then I want to have an apartment in Cabo San Lucas, another one in Seville, Spain, blah, blah, blah. That's how they are motivated nowadays. It's not the love of medicine, the love of people, like Dr. B 30 plus years ago when I went into medical school was for the love of people, and I still love people for the love of science, medicine, healthcare, blah, blah, blah. That's my motivation. The reason I work 8 to 10 hours every day at our cardiovascular clinic, beautiful clinic, is not the money, or even though I need money, right, to live, but my life is frugal, very simple, humble life. But it's for the love of medicine, the love of people, and I love it. And I'm never going to retire. I'm going to keep working like until I'm 100 years old. So I'm never going to retirement is not made for me. So I don't stress about money because I'm never going to retire. Retire to do what? I've been everywhere in the world when I was younger. I lived in 5 countries and I visited probably dozens, right? I speak fluently 5 languages, written, spoken, and I'm learning my language number 6, which is the Thai language. I've been everywhere. I've done everything I needed to do. I've seen everything, every country I needed to see, right? So to retire to do what? To go to a Caribbean island and sleep under the sun like a dog, eat, sleep, and do nothing. After 1 week, I'll be bored. I'll be bored after 1 week. Whereas medicine keeps me happy. I love medicine. And I keep enriching my knowledge every freaking day to be the best doctor you can have. For you. Yeah, like the golf player number 1, tennis player number 1, basketball player number 1, football player number 1. They need to practice every day to be on the top of their game, to be the best. Dr. B wants to be the best doctor for you. Yes, that's why every day I spend at least 1 hour to read the medical journals, high level, to learn about new medication, new techniques, new studies, new discoveries, new technical surgery, new surgical techniques, new everything. Mathematics, physics, chemistry, biochemistry at high level I keep studying, right? Molecular biology, every freaking thing, diseases, everything, right? Science is my passion, right? So do not forget that there's doctor and doctor. If your doctor doesn't care about you, you need to change it and find a doctor like a doctor like Dr. B cares about. I'm not advertising myself, but you need to find a doctor by reference who is caring like Dr. B. I took the Hippocratic Oath 30 plus years ago, and I will never ever put my own interest above yours. And everything I tell you is the true scientific evidence, the proof, the medical scientific proof. And that's because I took the Hippocratic Oath that I will never betray. The same way, one day if I get married, I'm not married, never been married, I will never, ever, ever break my vows. Of course, never. Same thing for my Hippocratic Oath. Never betray my oath. So listen to me. You need to have a carotid ultrasound exam if you are younger and you have risk factors. Then you need to have it at a younger age. If you are absolutely healthy like Dr. B, exercise, blah, 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 sleep good, no smoking, no zip your mouth, no garbage food, no nothing, blah, 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 and you are doing great with a beautiful body like Dr. B, then maybe the age of 50, you start to have one ultrasound exam to check how much plaques do you have. And if everything's fine, then wait maybe in 4 years, 3 years, 5 years, talk to your doctor about this. Guys, Dr. B loves you regardless of your gender, ethnicity, race, religion, politics, Democrat, Republican, Independent, Buddhist, Christian, Muslim, atheist, Jewish, Hinduist. I don't give a catso about your religion, the color of your skin, your race, Latino, Asian, white, Arab, Middle Eastern, white, any catso, I don't care whether you're a man or a female or anything in between. I love you the same way I love medicine. I give you a big hug, and God willing, I will talk to you next time in the next video. And remember that if your doctor doesn't want to send you for that carotid ultrasound exam, you change your doctor. And if your insurance doesn't cover it, because it is possible if you are a younger age that the insurance going to deny it, which I don't think so, but in case, then be a self-pay patient. Don't forget that many times these insurance companies are in the business to scam people by denying claims, by denying coverage, right? It's just like car insurance, home insurance. They are good at taking your money, but when the house burns or the car has an accident, they find any excuse to not cover, right? So in case, just be a cash pay patient. It's not expensive. 100, 150, 200, depending on which clinic you're going to go, which imaging department. And if you call them, you tell them, I'll be a cash patient because my insurance company doesn't want to cover it, they will give you a discount. And believe me, it's cheaper than going to the freaking restaurant. People go to a restaurant, they spend 150, 200 bucks. They go to a movie night at the theater over there, they spend 200 bucks with this nasty popcorn and Coca-Cola. So 100 bucks, 150, 200 bucks once in a few years is really nothing, guys. So save some money. Don't go eat some nasty food, processed food at a restaurant. Don't go to that movie theater, drink some Coke, and just rent a movie at home. Make your own food at home just one weekend. You will save enough money for that carotid ultrasound, which can save your life. So it is worth it. I love you guys. Give you a big hug. Talk to you in the next video. Put every comment, any question you have, any comment, any criticism, any katso you want to say, put it down there. I'll get back to you. It might take time because I'm so busy at the clinic where I work, but I love it. 8 to 10 hours a day. Then I have to sleep 9 hours, go to the gym 2 hours, study, read medicine, the latest discoveries 1 hour. But there's not much time left, but I will get back to you. I love you. Bye-bye. Talk to you next time.